equilateral, isosceles, tetrahedron.
I have never seen a mind like the one your daughter has. You have to see what she becomes.
Come on! You know what we're doing here? We're putting a human on top of a missile, shooting him into space. That's never been done before. I need a mathematician that can look beyond the numbers. Math that doesn't yet exist.
You have someone?
Running what I'm playing.
Catherine's the gal for that. She can handle any numbers you put in front of her.
Yay.
I was telling Kevin and Jim, like, I see good movies a lot, but when you see a movie and you like, I want to take my kids to see this. I want my kids to get their friends and come with us. Yeah. I mean, I think it just says something about like how inspiring this movie, you know, is. Like, how does it feel to play inspiring characters like that and know that you could inspire some kid from anywhere in the world that may just say, I want to get into science, I want to get into space research or engineering or...
I mean, that's why I became an artist, to inspire. That's why I choose the characters that I choose to inspire, the projects to inspire. Why do it for me?
Yeah.
That's selfish.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also with this story, Hidden Figures, none of us knew about these three women or any of the human computers, as they called us women during that era. And for me, I wanted to make sure that no other young girl, no other child went through life not knowing about the brilliant-minded women who were directly responsible for getting some of our first Americans into space. Mm-hmm. So it was inspiring for all of us to honor these women in the way that we had the opportunity to do, and it's inspiring that you feel that way.
And Pastor mentioned you're a computer at NASA. It's pretty heady stuff.
Yes, it is.
They let women handle that sort of... That's not what I mean.
What do you mean?
I'm just surprised it's something so taxing.
Mr. Johnson, if I were you, I'd quit talking right now.
I mean no disrespect.
I will have you know, I was the first Negro female student at West Virginia University Graduate School. On any given day, I analyze the manometer levels for air displacement, friction, and velocity, and compute over 10,000 calculations by hand. So yes, they let women do some things at NASA, Mr. Johnson. And it's not because we wear skirts. It's because we wear glasses.
And it's so often like these movies where you bring history to the big screen, you're getting a nuance, but this was just like, I had no idea at all that these women even existed or this story was important. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So at this time, we were going through things as a race, we still are, but women were hardly more than secretaries most often. Like how is that, you know, to see that, what do you think that effect would be for girls to see what women were doing, you know, even back then?
Well, they have to understand the progression of things. At that time, African Americans did not even have the right to vote, so they had no voice in the political process. And they were a major part of the workforce, but, you know, I don't want to throw out some unrealistic number, but only a fraction of the African American community were in these types of jobs. So these women at that time were far superior and still were being treated like second-class citizens. But in spite of that, they knew that they had a lot to contribute.
Absolutely.
And they did. They put whatever was going on into society aside and decided to use their God-given talent to be a part of something greater than themselves.
Yes.
I think it's interesting you say women were secretaries back then, because that's how men looked at being human computers. They thought those were secretarial positions, not knowing how important they were, or they were going to be. So they passed it down to the women. Yeah, you know, I'm not sitting at a desk crunching numbers. That's what women do, you know?
Yeah.
And when the space race happened, in the Cold War, it was time to get busy. And Eisenhower was like, we need all minds. Let's find it. And he implemented this program, and the human computers became women. And of course, it was segregated. You had the white wing, you had the colored section. And yeah, that's why this movie is so important, because women matter, Black people matter, every human on this earth matters.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
I think the great thing about, as Taraji put it, we all matter. I think these women knew that too. We had a very broad worldview, and also the men at NASA slowly but surely realized that we were stronger together. And what ended up happening, and can be a great example and hope for all of us watching today, was realizing that if we can just think forward and not allow race and gender to get in the way of us reaching our shared goals in life, we can achieve the extraordinary. And that's what they did.
Yeah, and it's amazing that we lost, you know, a great pioneer, John Glenn, yesterday, but if it wasn't for the characters that you guys played, we might have lost them a half a century ago.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
very
great
true.
movie. Thank you guys.
Thank
Happy
you so
holidays.
much. Happy holidays.